The NBA has a fan problem. Not in the way most sports do, though. The NBA has no trouble when it comes to popularity. It rivals football in America, and the sport of basketball rivals soccer in Europe. The NBA's fan problem is almost that they have too many fans. The culture of NBA fandom is becoming a problem. Games outside of the playoffs have become stale, and fans of the NBA don't even seem to like the sport of basketball. How is this possible, and how can the NBA fix this? Let's first talk about the fans themselves. And to do this, we need to go to a place most basketball fans dread: NBA Twitter, a cesspool of terrible basketball takes. A lot of these people don't watch basketball outside of the NBA. They don't watch college basketball, high school basketball, European basketball, and maybe they turn on the Olympic Games if they feel like it. They like the aesthetic of being an NBA fan because it's popular. They're the people who say sports outside of basketball aren't real sports. Some of them don't even support a team, they just care about one specific player. And all of these things are a problem. Becoming a fan of a player makes sense, but people who switch teams based on what team that one player plays on is bad for NBA fandom. The whole culture of switching teams based on who is fun to watch or where one player is not real basketball fandom. I'm not even saying you only need to like one team, or only like the team that's in your city. I would encourage that, but as long as you pick one team or two and stick with them for life, that's real NBA fandom. I'm also not saying you need to have a favorite college team, but watching March Madness or a few primetime college games would be good. I'm just tired of people who only like the NBA because it's popular. There is good basketball outside of the NBA. These are the same people who say they want regular season games to matter, but then make fun of teams for being happy when they win a big regular season game, or they say that they don't like the in-season tournament. These same people also say they want more trash talking, but then say you can't trash talk when you are winning or losing a game. All of these stupid arbitrary rules NBA fans make up on social media are bad for basketball. Maybe it's just because I'm from Indianapolis, in the heart of basketball country. We watch all forms of basketball. Everybody has a favorite NBA and college team, and everybody keeps tabs on the local high school prospects coming up. If you travel north or south of Indy, you do find more people who only care about college and high school basketball, but even they still pay attention to professional basketball in some way. So you can call me a purist if you want, but I love passionate basketball. I love trash talk, I love loud stadiums, I like when Patrick Beverley went crazy after winning that play-in game. I came out of the womb watching basketball. I know this game and I know what makes it great. All these people on Twitter who say that regular season games don't matter are wrong. I remember when Wesley Matthews had a game-winning tip-in against the Thunder and Paul George in Indianapolis. I remember Victor Oladipo's 44-point game. I remember Lance Stevenson scoring 20 points in the first quarter of his first game back in Indianapolis. And I remember Kiefer Sykes' electric dunk against the Cavs. Regular season games do matter. So the first thing we need to do to make NBA games less stale is passionate players and passionate fans. We need more trash talking. We need less people who are fans of just one player or fans of the league in general. Pick a team and stay with them. We need more fans that are like soccer or the NHL fans or NFL fans or even MLB fans. I know some people say that MLB games are just as stale, but I think that makes more sense when you have a 162 game season and some of the games are played at 1 p.m. on a weekday. And even some of those games have more electricity to them than NBA games. But in Major League Baseball, when it comes to regular season games that are on the weekend or weeknights, those environments are so fun. And I'm not saying all NBA games are like this, but a lot of big market teams struggle with creating an environment like that. But it's not all the fans' fault. So this is where we talk about the other part of this problem, the NBA themselves. Like I mentioned earlier, All other levels of basketball do not have the problem that the NBA has. Not high school, not college, and not Europe. One of the big differences is ticket prices. Obviously, high school basketball tickets are cheap, and teams already have a built-in fan base at that level, but college is a bit different. I know the schools still have a built-in fan base because of the students, but even bigger student sections still leave thousands of seats left, and college teams have no issue with stale environments for regular season games. Europe is the only place where they don't have a built-in fan base. NBA tickets are way too expensive for the average fan to even attend one game, let alone get a multi-game package or have season tickets. This leads to the lower bowl of NBA games being filled with people who are wearing designer clothes instead of jerseys. The NBA has priced a lot of passionate fans out of the market, but they can afford to do that because of how popular the league is. But to give the NBA some credit, the in-season tournament is a great idea. But if NBA teams had larger supporters sections where the tickets were cheaper, that would go a long way. My favorite team, the Pacers, tried to make tickets affordable and have some of the cheapest tickets in the NBA. And what the Clippers are doing with the wall in their new stadium is great. If we had more of that across the league, games wouldn't be so stale. Put real fans in the stands, not people who just want to play dress up while sitting courtside. But honestly, it comes down to us as fans. The people who watch the NBA once the playoffs come around, and the people who only watch the NBA because it's popular and they don't really like the sport of basketball as a whole, need to be better. Like I said earlier, maybe I'm just a purist, but I didn't realize that these people existed until I went on Twitter. Again, growing up in Indiana, growing up in Indianapolis, you watch the NBA, you watch college basketball, and you keep tabs on high school prospects, and you just love the sport. And usually the people that either pick between the NBA and college, they go college. There are very few people who only watch the NBA in the state of Indiana. So where I grew up, that was just how it worked. I didn't realize that these type of people existed where they only watch the NBA and they don't really know college basketball and they don't really like the sport of basketball outside the NBA until I went on Twitter and until I saw people complaining about stuff like players trash talking when they're up or when they're down, or if it's a mediocre player talking to a superstar, they're not allowed to do that. And if it's a superstar talking to a mediocre player, they're not allowed to do that. So all these rules that people make up are just so stupid because it stops players from being as vocal as they should be. And it kind of just brings down the energy. And then when they're in the stadium and people don't cheer, people don't stand up for the opening tip. Like at Pacers games, everybody stands up for the opening tip. That's what you are supposed to do. The people who don't do stuff like that, that's part of the problem. We need to bring more electricity into the stadiums. And like what the Kings do, that's amazing. The Sacramento Kings environment for their games are amazing. But all the people who wear like fancy clothes courtside and they're not wearing team gear and stuff, and all the people in the lower bowls that are wearing designer clothes and stuff, and they're not actually fans of the team. I mean, I'm glad they're there because they're putting money into the pocket of the franchise so they can spend it, make the franchise better, afford players, contracts, and stuff like that. But I would much rather have actual fans there instead of people who are just there as a status symbol. But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, I'm Limitless Pulls. I'll see you guys next time.
But you can mix right, nigga, put it in the blender. Hell yeah, I'm Wingstop. Bitch, I'm selling chicken tender. It's like the beef with energy and water like Kimber. Hey, turning, looking like dinner. It's like I got the bag, boy or girl. You can pick.